Opening hook. Stop what you're doing right now. What I'm about to share with you will challenge everything you've been taught about money, work, and wealth. Here's a hard truth most people never realize until it's too late. You've been lied to your entire life. Your parents told you to go to school, get good grades, find a stable job, and work hard for 40 years. Then, maybe, just maybe, you can retire comfortably. But let me ask you something. How many people do you know who followed that exact path and ended up wealthy? How many retired with financial freedom? How many aren't worried about money in their old age? Very few. Maybe none. And here's why. That advice was designed for a world that no longer exists. A world where companies took care of their employees. A world where pensions were guaranteed. A world where one income could support an entire family. That world is gone. Today, you're on your own. Companies downsize without warning. Pensions have been replaced by 401ks that crash with the market. And one income that barely covers rent in most cities. But here's the good news. While the old system is broken, a new opportunity has emerged. An opportunity that allows ordinary people like you and me to build real, lasting wealth. Not by working harder, not by climbing the corporate ladder, but by understanding one simple principle that the wealthy have known for centuries. The principle is this: rich people don't work for money. They make money work for them. Today I'm going to reveal 7 assets that can make you rich without working again. These aren't get-rich-quick schemes. These aren't lottery tickets or crypto gambles. These are proven, time-tested assets that have created more millionaires and billionaires than anything else in human history. By the end of this audiobook, you'll understand exactly how the wealthy build their fortunes. You'll know which assets to focus on based on your current situation. And most importantly, you'll have a clear roadmap to financial freedom. So whether you're sitting in traffic, at the gym, or relaxing at home, I want you to pay close attention. Because what you're about to learn could change your family's financial future for generations to come. Let's begin. Introduction. The Great Divide. 5 minutes. Before we dive into the 7 assets, you need to understand why most people stay poor, while a small percentage becomes incredibly wealthy. It's not about intelligence. Some of the smartest people I know are broke, and some of the wealthiest people I know barely graduated high school. It's not about hard work either. I've seen construction workers put in 60-hour weeks and still struggle to pay bills. Meanwhile, some investors work a few hours a month and earn millions. So what's the real difference? The difference is what financial educator Robert Kiyosaki calls the cash flow quadrant. On the left side of this quadrant, you have employees and self-employed people. These people trade their time for money. They work for money because they need security. They need that next paycheck to survive. Miss 1 month of work, and their entire life falls apart. On the right side of the quadrant, you have business owners and investors. These people don't trade time for money. Instead, they build or buy assets that generate money, whether they work or not. They work for freedom, not security. Here's the critical insight. Both sides work hard, but only one side builds wealth. Let me give you an example. Meet Sarah. She's a lawyer. She went to an expensive law school, graduated with honors, and landed a job at a prestigious firm. She makes $150,000 a year. Sounds great, right? But here's the reality. Sarah works 70 hours a week. She's stressed constantly. She has no time for her family. And despite her high income, she's living paycheck to paycheck because of student loans, her expensive apartment, and the lifestyle she needs to maintain to look successful. Sarah is highly educated and makes good money. But she's on the left side of the quadrant. She's an employee. If she stops working, the money stops immediately. Now meet David. He's a real estate investor. He didn't go to college. He started as a construction worker. But 10 years ago, he bought his first rental property, then another, then another. Today, David owns 15 rental properties. His tenants pay him $25,000 every single month. His mortgage payments and expenses are $18,000. That means he keeps $7,000 every month in passive income. David works maybe 10 hours a week managing his properties. The rest of his time, he spends it with his kids, traveling, or finding his next investment. David is on the right side of the quadrant. He's an investor. His assets work for him. Both Sarah and David work hard, but only David is building wealth that will last for generations. Now, I'm not telling you to quit your job tomorrow and become a real estate investor. That's not realistic for most people. What I am saying is this. If you want to be wealthy, you need to start thinking like the right side of the quadrant. You need to stop trading time for money and start building assets that generate money for you. That's what these 7 assets are all about. They're the vehicles that move you from the left side to the right side, from employee to investor, from working for money to having money work for you. Some of these assets require money to start, others require time, some require both, but all of them have one thing in common. They create passive income. Money that comes in whether you're working or not. And that's the key to wealth. Not a high salary, not a fancy job title, but passive income from assets. So let's dive into the 7 assets that can make you rich without working again. Asset number 1. Business ownership. 8 minutes. The first and most powerful asset on this list is business ownership. Now, before you roll your eyes and think, I could never start a business, hear me out. When most people think of starting a business, they imagine quitting their job, maxing out credit cards, and working 100-hour weeks with no guarantee of success. And honestly, that scares them. It should. But that's not the only way to own a business. Let me explain what business ownership really means. It means you own a system that generates profit without requiring your constant presence. The key word there is system. You see, there's a massive difference between being self-employed and being a business owner. If you're a freelance graphic designer, you're self-employed. You trade your time for money. If you stop working, you stop earning. That's not a business. That's a job you gave yourself. But if you build a graphic design agency with employees who do the work while you focus on strategy and growth, now you're a business owner. The system works without you. Here's why. Business ownership is the #1 wealth-building asset. It has unlimited income potential. As an employee, your salary has a ceiling. Your boss decides what you're worth. You get annual raises of maybe 3 to 5%. You're stuck. As a business owner, there's no ceiling. If you build a better product, serve more customers, or expand into new markets, your income can grow exponentially. That's why every billionaire you know, Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, built their wealth through business ownership. But here's what they don't tell you in the motivational videos and Instagram posts. Building a successful business is brutally hard. It requires sacrifice, long nights, constant problem solving, financial risk, emotional stress. Most businesses fail within the first 5 years. So why am I still putting it at #1? Because despite the difficulty, business ownership offers something no other asset can: the ability to create massive wealth in a short amount of time. Real estate takes decades to build significant wealth. Stocks and bonds grow slowly, but a successful business, it can make you a millionaire in just a few years. Let me share a real story. A friend of mine named Marcus started a pressure washing business 5 years ago. He had no business experience, no college degree, just a truck, some equipment, and a willingness to work. The first year was rough. He worked alone, doing every job himself. He made about $30,000 that year. Barely more than minimum wage when you calculate the hours. But Marcus understood something crucial. He wasn't building a job. He was building a system. By year 2, he hired his first employee. He taught them his process and started focusing on marketing and getting new customers. Revenue doubled. By year 3, he had 5 employees, 2 trucks, and consistent monthly revenue of $40,000. His profit? About $12,000 a month. He was now making more than most doctors, and he never went to college. By year 5, his business was generating $80,000 in monthly revenue. He had 10 employees, 5 trucks, and a manager running day-to-day operations. Marcus now works about 15 hours a week on high-level strategy. His annual income over $500,000. Marcus went from broke to wealthy in 5 years. Not because he's special, but because he understood the power of business ownership. Now you might be thinking, but I don't have a business idea. Or, I don't know how to start. Here's the truth. You don't need a revolutionary idea. You just need to solve a problem people are willing to pay for. The pressure washing business isn't sexy. It's not going to be featured on TechCrunch, but it's profitable because people need their driveways cleaned. Landscaping, cleaning services, bookkeeping, social media management. These aren't exciting businesses, but they're in demand, and they can make you wealthy if you build them right. The key is to start small, prove the concept, then systematize and scale. Here's my advice if you want to pursue business ownership. First, keep your job. Start your business on the side. Test it. Validate it. Make sure people will actually pay for what you're offering. Second, focus on cash flow businesses. Don't try to build the next Facebook. Build something that generates revenue from day one. Service businesses are perfect for this. Third, Systematize everything. Document your processes. Create training manuals. Make yourself replaceable. That's how you go from self-employed to business owner. Fourth, reinvest profits into growth. Don't buy a fancy car the moment you start making money. Hire employees. Buy better equipment. Invest in marketing. Scale the business. And finally, be patient. Building a real business takes 3 to 5 years minimum, but if you stick with it, the payoff is life-changing. Business ownership isn't for everyone. It requires risk tolerance, resilience, and a willingness to learn constantly. But if you have those qualities, there's no faster path to wealth. Remember, employees have jobs. Business owners have assets. Choose wisely. Asset number 2, real estate. 8 minutes. The second asset that can make you rich without working again is real estate. Now I know what you're thinking. Real estate? That's for rich people. I can barely afford rent, let alone buy investment property. I hear you, but stay with me because what I'm about to explain will completely change how you think about real estate investing. First, let's talk about why real estate is such a powerful wealth-building tool. Real estate does 4 things simultaneously that almost no other asset can do. 1, it generates monthly cash flow through rental income. Your tenants literally pay you every month. 2, it appreciates in value over time. Real estate historically increases by 3 to 5% annually, sometimes much more in hot markets. 3, your tenants pay down your mortgage. Every month, your loan balance decreases while your equity increases. You're building wealth without spending your own money. 4, it provides massive tax advantages. Depreciation, mortgage interest deductions, and other tax benefits can save you thousands every year. Show me another asset that does all 4 of those things. I'll wait. That's why 90% of millionaires have built their wealth through real estate. It's the most consistent, reliable path to financial freedom. But here's where most people get stuck. They think they need a ton of money to start. They see property prices and think, a house costs $300,000. I don't have that kind of money. I guess real estate investing isn't for me. Wrong. Here's the secret wealthy real estate investors know. You don't buy real estate with your money. You buy it with other people's money. This is what Robert Kiyosaki calls OPM, other people's money. Let me explain how this works. Let's say you want to buy a rental property for $250,000. You don't need $250,000. You need 20% down. That's $50,000. The bank loans you the other $200,000. Now let's do the math. Your mortgage payment on $200,000 at 7% interest for 30 years is about $330 per month. Add in property taxes, insurance, and maintenance, and your total monthly expense is roughly $2,000. If you rent that property for $2,500 per month, you're cash flowing $500 every single month. That's $6,000 a year in passive income. But here's where it gets interesting. You only put down $50,000, but you're earning $6,000 per year. That's a 12% cash-on-cash return. Show me a savings account or bond that pays 12%. Plus, your tenant is paying down your mortgage. Over 30 years, they'll pay off that $200,000 loan. That's $200,000 in equity you didn't pay for. And if the property appreciates by just 3% per year, in 30 years, that $250,000 property will be worth over $600,000. So let's recap. You put in $50,000. Over 30 years, you collected $180,000 in cash flow, built $200,000 in equity, and gained $350,000 in appreciation. That's over $700,000 in wealth from a $50,000 investment. That's the power of real estate. But here's the best part. You don't stop at one property. Once you have equity in your first property, you can refinance or get a home equity line of credit and use that money to buy property number 2, then property 3, then 4. Within 10 to 15 years, you could own a portfolio of rental properties generating $10,000, $20,000, or even $50,000 per month in passive income. I know people who started with one rental property and now own 50. They're financially free. They don't have to work unless they want to. Now, I won't lie to you. Real estate investing isn't completely passive, especially at the beginning. You have to find good deals. You have to screen tenants. You have to handle maintenance issues. Toilets break, roofs leak, tenants move out. It requires work, but it's not the same as a 9-to-5 job. It's a few hours a week managing assets. And once you have enough properties, you can hire a property manager to handle everything for you. Here's my advice if you want to start investing in real estate. First, educate yourself. Read books, listen to podcasts, learn about your local market, understand what makes a good rental property. Second, start saving for your down payment. Cut unnecessary expenses. Work a side hustle. Do whatever it takes to save $30,000, $50,000. Third, don't wait for the perfect time. People say, I'll wait for the market to crash. But waiting costs you years of cash flow and appreciation. The best time to buy was yesterday. The second best time is today. Fourth, start small. Buy a single-family home or a duplex. Get experience. Learn the process. Then scale from there. Fifth, focus on cash flow, not appreciation. Buy properties that generate positive cash flow from day one. Appreciation is the bonus, not the strategy. And finally, use leverage wisely. Debt is a tool. It's not bad if you use it to acquire income-producing assets, but don't over-leverage. Always have reserves for vacancies and repairs. Real estate isn't a get-rich-quick scheme. It's a get-rich-for-sure strategy if you're patient and disciplined. The tenants pay your mortgage, the property appreciates, the cash flow grows, and in 10-20 years, you're financially free. That's why real estate is asset number 2 on this list. Asset number 3, stocks and paper assets. The third asset that can make you rich without working again is stocks and paper assets. Now, I know some of you just groaned. Stocks? The market is too risky. I'll lose everything. Others are thinking, stocks are boring. I'll never get rich buying index funds. Both of these beliefs are wrong, and both keep people poor. Let me explain why stocks and paper assets are one of the most powerful wealth-building tools available to ordinary people. First, the accessibility. You don't need $50,000 for a down payment like real estate. You don't need to start a business and take on massive risk. You can start investing in stocks with as little as $100. Second, it's truly passive. You don't have to manage tenants or run operations. You buy stocks, and they work for you 24/7 while you sleep. Third, the historical returns are incredible. The S&P 500 has averaged about 10% annual returns for the last century. That means your money doubles roughly every 7 years. Let me put that in perspective. If you invest $500 per month, starting at age 25, and earn a 10% average return, by age 65, you'll have over $3 million. That's from just $500 a month. Most people spend $500 a month on eating out, subscriptions, and things they don't need. Imagine if they invested that money instead. But here's where most people go wrong with stocks. They think it's about picking the next Apple or Tesla. They want to get rich quick. They chase hot tips and meme stocks. That's gambling, not investing. Real wealth from stocks comes from consistent, disciplined investing over long periods of time. It's boring, but it works. Let me tell you about my friend Jennifer. Jennifer is a school teacher. She makes $55,000 a year. Not a lot of money. But 15 years ago, she decided to invest 15% of every paycheck into a retirement account filled with low-cost index funds. She never tried to time the market. She never picked individual stocks. She just consistently invested, month after month, year after year. Through market crashes, recessions, and uncertainty, she kept investing. Today, at age 43, Jennifer's investment portfolio is worth over $400,000. By the time she retires at 65, it'll be worth over $2 million. Jennifer will retire a millionaire on a teacher's salary, not because she got lucky, but because she understood the power of compound interest and consistency. Here's what Einstein allegedly said: "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." When you invest money and earn returns, those returns start earning returns too. It's exponential growth. The longer you invest, the more powerful it becomes. That's why starting young is so critical. A 25-year-old who invests $3,000 per year until age 35 and then stops will have more money at retirement than someone who starts at 35 and invests about $3,000 per year until age 65. Time in the market beats timing the market. Every single time. Now, let's talk about what to actually invest in. For most people, the best strategy is simple. Invest in low-cost index funds. An index fund is a collection of stocks that mirrors a market index, like the S&P 500. When you buy an S&P 500 index fund, you're buying tiny pieces of 500 of America's largest companies: Apple, Microsoft, Amazon, Google, Tesla, and hundreds more. It's instant diversification. It's low cost, and it's proven to beat most actively managed funds over the long term. You don't need to be a stock market genius. You don't need to read financial statements. You just need to consistently buy index funds and hold them for decades. Here's my advice for building wealth through stocks. First, start now. Don't wait until you have more money or until you understand the market better. Start with whatever you can afford, even if it's just $50 a month. Second, automate your investments. Set up automatic transfers from your paycheck to your investment account. Pay yourself first before you pay bills or spend on wants. Third, invest in low-cost index funds. Avoid individual stock picking unless you truly enjoy researching companies. For most people, index funds are the way to go. Fourth, ignore the noise. The media will scream about market crashes, recessions, and doom. Ignore them. Keep investing consistently. Fifth, don't panic sell during downturns. Market crashes are not losses, they're sales. When stocks drop, you're buying them at a discount. That's good for long-term investors. Sixth, increase your contributions as your income grows. Got a raise? Invest the difference instead of upgrading your lifestyle. And finally, be patient. Wealth from stocks takes decades, not months, but it's one of the most reliable paths to financial freedom. Here's the reality. You're not going to become a millionaire overnight with stocks, but you will become one eventually if you're consistent and patient. The stock market is like planting a tree. You plant the seed today, water it consistently, and in 20 to 30 years, you have a giant tree providing shade and fruit. Most people never plant the seed because they want the tree today. Don't be like most people. Stocks and paper assets are asset number 3 because they're accessible, passive, and proven to build wealth over time. Asset number 4, intellectual property. The fourth asset that can make you rich without working again is intellectual property. This might be the most overlooked wealth-building asset on this entire list. Most people have never even considered it. But the wealthy, they understand its power completely. So what is intellectual property? Simply put, it's anything you create that can be protected, owned, and monetized. This includes books, courses, music, patents, trademarks, software, apps, and content. Here's why intellectual property is so powerful. You create it once, and it can generate income forever. Think about it. J.K. Rowling wrote the Harry Potter books decades ago. She's still earning millions every year from book sales, movie royalties, and merchandise licensing. She did the work once. The asset pays her for life. Or consider the inventor who patents a product. They create the design once, license it to manufacturers, and collect royalty checks for years without lifting a finger. That's the beauty of intellectual property. The work is front-loaded, but the income is perpetual. Now you might be thinking, but I'm not J.K. Rowling. I'm not an inventor. How does this apply to me? Here's the truth. In today's digital world, anyone can create intellectual property that generates passive income. Let me give you some examples. You can write an ebook and sell it on Amazon. Every time someone buys it, you earn money. You wrote it once. It sells forever. You can create an online course teaching something you're good at. Photography, cooking, coding, fitness, marketing, anything, and sell it on platforms like Udemy or Teachable. You can develop a mobile app and earn money from downloads or in-app purchases. You can start a YouTube channel or podcast, build an audience, and monetize through ads, sponsorships, and affiliate marketing. You can write music, license it to commercials and movies, and earn royalties every time it's used. You can create stock photos, videos, or graphics and sell them on sites like Shutterstock or Adobe Stock. The opportunities are endless, and the barrier to entry has never been lower. Let me tell you about a guy named Pat Flynn. Pat was an architect who lost his job during the 2008 recession. Desperate for income, he created a study guide to help people pass an architecture licensing exam. He sold it online for $19.95. The first month, he made $7,908. He couldn't believe it. He created the guide once, and it was selling on autopilot. Today, Pat earns over $2 million per year from digital products, courses, podcasts, and affiliate marketing. He works maybe 20 to 30 hours a week. The rest of his time is spent with his family. Pat's entire wealth is built on intellectual property. Assets he created once that continue generating income year after year. Here's another example. A woman named Joanna Penn wrote a series of thriller novels. She self-published them on Amazon Kindle. Today, she earns over $100,000 per year in passive income from book sales. She wrote the books once. They sell forever. She's literally earning money while she sleeps. Now, creating valuable intellectual property isn't easy. It requires skill, knowledge, and effort up front. You have to actually create something people want. But here's the thing. You already have knowledge and skills worth sharing. You just don't realize it. Can you cook? Create a cookbook or cooking course. Are you good at social media? Teach small businesses how to grow their following. Do you know Excel inside and out? Create a comprehensive Excel training course. Can you fix cars? Make tutorial videos and monetize them. Everyone is an expert at something. The key is packaging your knowledge into intellectual property that can be sold repeatedly. Here's my advice for building wealth through intellectual property. First, identify your expertise. What do you know that others would pay to learn? What problems can you solve for people? Second, start small. Don't try to create a massive course or write a 500-page book. Start with a short ebook or a mini course. Test the market. Third, focus on providing real value. Don't create fluff. If your intellectual property genuinely helps people, they'll buy it and recommend it to others. Fourth, leverage existing platforms. Use Amazon for books. Use Udemy for courses. Use YouTube for videos. Don't try to build everything from scratch. Fifth, market consistently. Creating the product is only half the battle. You need to let people know it exists. Use social media, email marketing, and content marketing to drive traffic. And finally, scale through volume. Once you've created one successful piece of intellectual property, create another. Then another. Build a portfolio of assets that generate income simultaneously. The beauty of intellectual property is that it scales infinitely. Whether one person or 1 million people buy your product, your effort remains the same. That's leverage. That's passive income. That's wealth. Intellectual property is asset number 4 because it allows you to monetize your knowledge, create once, and earn forever, and build income streams that require minimal ongoing effort. Asset number 5, online assets and digital real estate, 6 minutes. The fifth asset that can make you rich without working again is online assets and digital real estate. This is the new frontier of wealth building, and most people are completely missing out on it. When I say online assets, I'm talking about websites, blogs, YouTube channels, social media accounts, email lists, and any digital property that has value and generates income. Think of these as digital real estate. Just like physical real estate, online assets appreciate over time, generate cash flow, and can be bought and sold for profit. The best part? The startup costs are almost zero. You don't need $50,000 for a down payment. You need a laptop and an internet connection. Let me give you some examples of online assets. A blog that generates income through ads, affiliate marketing, and sponsored posts. Once you build traffic, it earns money on autopilot. A YouTube channel that monetizes through ad revenue and brand deals. Create videos once, and they generate income for years. An Instagram or TikTok account with a large following that earns money through sponsored content and product sales. An email list of subscribers who trust you and buy products you recommend. A niche website that ranks on Google and earns affiliate commissions from product recommendations. Each of these is an asset. They have value, they generate income, and they can be built with minimal investment. Let me tell you about a guy named Spencer Hawes. Spencer builds niche websites. These are simple websites focused on specific topics like best kitchen knives or hiking gear reviews. He fills them with helpful content, optimizes them for Google search, and monetizes them through affiliate links. When someone clicks a link and buys a product, Spencer earns a commission. Spencer has built and sold dozens of these websites. Some have sold for over $1 million each. He's created multiple six-figure income streams from websites that run on autopilot. Here's another example. A woman named Michelle started a personal finance blog in 2011. She wrote about paying off debt and saving money. Today, that blog earns her over $100,000 per month through affiliate marketing, sponsored posts, and course sales. She works from anywhere in the world. Her laptop is her office. Michelle built a digital asset that generates life-changing income. Now, building profitable online assets isn't easy. It requires time, effort, and consistency. You need to create valuable content. You need to build an audience. You need to learn marketing skills. But the barrier to entry is low, and the upside is massive. Here's why online assets are so powerful. 1. They're scalable. Whether 100 people or 100,000 people visit your website, your effort is the same. 2. They're global. You can reach people anywhere in the world. Your potential market is billions of people. 3. They're passive. Once you build traffic and monetize, they generate income while you sleep. 4. They have low overhead. No employees, no inventory, no physical location, just you and a laptop. 5. They can be sold. If you ever want to cash out, you can sell your online asset for 2 to 4 times its annual earnings. Build a website earning $50,000 per year, sell it for $150,000. Here's my advice for building online assets. First, choose a niche you're knowledgeable or passionate about. It's much easier to create content around topics you care about. Second, provide massive value. Don't create fluff. Answer real questions, solve real problems. If your content helps people, they'll keep coming back. Third, be consistent. Building an online asset takes time, usually 6-24 months, before you see significant income. Post regularly. Don't give up. Fourth, learn SEO and content marketing. You need to understand how to get traffic. Traffic equals income. Fifth, diversify your income streams. Don't rely solely on ads. Use affiliate marketing, sponsored content, and digital products. And finally, treat it like a real business, not a hobby. Schedule time to work on it. Invest in learning. Track your metrics. The online world is creating more millionaires than ever before. People are building empires from their bedrooms. You can too. Online assets are asset number 5 because they offer low barriers to entry, massive scalability, and true passive income potential. Asset number 6, your personal brand and network. The 6th asset that can make you rich without working again is your personal brand and network. This is the most underestimated asset on this list, and it's probably the most valuable. Here's a truth most people never realize. Your network is your net worth. The people you know, the reputation you build, and the value you provide to others directly impact your wealth. Think about it. How do most people get high-paying jobs? Through connections. How do entrepreneurs find investors? Through their network. How do deals get done? Through relationships. Your network isn't just about what you know. It's about who knows you, who trusts you, and who is willing to help you. Let me give you an example. 2 people apply for the same job. Same qualifications, same experience, same skills. One person knows someone at the company who vouches for them. The other doesn't. Who gets the job? The one with the connection. Every single time. That's the power of a network. But your network is only as valuable as your personal brand. And your personal brand is simply your reputation, how people perceive you. Are you known as someone who delivers results? Are you reliable? Are you an expert in your field? Do people trust you? If the answer is yes, opportunities will come to you. People will reach out with job offers, business partnerships, and investment opportunities. If the answer is no, you'll have to chase every opportunity, and most will reject you. Here's the thing. Building a strong personal brand and network doesn't require money. It requires intentionality and effort. Let me share a story about a guy named Gary. Gary worked in sales for a tech company. He was good at his job, but wasn't making exceptional money. Then he started doing something different. He began sharing valuable insights on LinkedIn. He posted daily about sales strategies, productivity tips, and lessons he learned. His content started getting attention. People shared his posts. His follower count grew. Companies started reaching out to him. Speaking opportunities came his way. Eventually, he was offered a VP of sales position at a fast-growing startup, with triple his previous salary. Gary didn't get that job from a resume. He got it because he built a personal brand. People knew who he was. They trusted his expertise. Today, Gary runs his own sales consulting business, earning over $500,000 per year. all because he built a brand and network. Here's another example. A woman named Lisa worked as a graphic designer. She was talented but struggled to find high-paying clients. She started attending local business networking events. She offered free advice to small business owners. She connected people who could help each other. Within a year, Lisa had more client referrals than she could handle. Her income tripled. She didn't become a better designer. She became better connected. Your personal brand and network compound over time. Every person you help, every piece of value you provide, every genuine relationship you build adds to your wealth. Here's my advice for building your personal brand and network. First, be genuinely helpful. Don't network just to take. Provide value first. Help people without expecting anything in return. What goes around comes around. Second, share your knowledge publicly. Write posts on LinkedIn, create content on YouTube, speak at events. The more visible you are, the more opportunities come your way. Third, attend events and join communities in your industry. You can't build a network from your couch. Get out there, meet